Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to show you 10 times contact was made with the last uncontacted tribe. Let's start the video. Number 10. The Shipwreck. Signs of life were first observed on North Sentinel Island by a passing survey ship in 1771, but there is no record of anyone landing there until 1867. At that time, the Nineveh, an Indian merchant ship, was wrecked on a reef off North Sentinel Island. The 86 passengers and 20 crew members who made it through the dangerous reef and onto the shore must have been counting their blessings. Number 9. The Naval Commander. In 1879, the British government gave Maurice Portman, then 19, responsibility for the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, though the British Empire had no particular right to them. Typically, the largest islands were used as outposts of the empire. But the smaller ones, including North Sentinel Island, had little to offer in terms of minerals or other resources. Despite this, Portman led an expedition to the island. When he and his troops arrived at the center of the settlement, he found huts. They had been recently abandoned by the inhabitants, who had fled inland at the troops' approach. The strangers rifled through the islanders' possessions and then went in pursuit. Number 8. The Escaped Convict. In 1896, a patrol searching for 3 escaped convicts from the penal colony on Great Andaman Island discovered a body on the shore of North Sentinel Island. A landing party cautiously waded to the beach, where they found clothing belonging to all 3 convicts. It is believed that 2 of them may have drowned in the reef, with their clothes ripped from them after being caught on the coral. The 3rd convict appeared to have made it to shore alive. Number 7. The anthropologists. The Sentinelese were largely left alone until 1967, when anthropologist T.N. Pandit tried to make contact with the islanders. He made a number of visits over a period of around 20 to 25 years. At first, the native people retreated inland and hid. However, Pandit slowly gained the islanders' trust by leaving gifts on the beach for them. Coconuts, pots, and pans were appreciated. Candy and plastic toys were not. Neither was the pig that was left tethered on the beach. When the anthropologists returned, they discovered that the animal's throat had been cut and the body had been buried in the sand. After several years of receiving gifts, the islanders began to come out to meet the anthropologists' boat and pick up the coconuts, which do not grow on the island. The conquerors. In 1970, a small survey party landed on the beach farthest from the natives and officially claimed the island for India. The surveyors hastily erected a stone plaque commemorating the event before beating a retreat to their boat. So understated was the invasion that it is extremely unlikely that the Sentinelese were aware that they had just been conquered by India. In fact, they probably didn't know what India was. Number 5. The documentary makers. In 1974, a film crew from National Geographic made a documentary about the Andaman Islands. It was entitled Man in Search of Man. They were following the work of T.N. Pandit and his group of anthropologists, who were leaving gifts of coconuts on the beach. The documentary makers had spent some time on the other islands and planned to stay 3 days at North Sentinel. They intended to leave gifts each day on the beach in hopes of building trust with the islanders. However, as the filmmakers' boat crossed the reef, the Sentinelese emerged from the forests and shot arrows to deter the strangers from landing. The crew maneuvered to a safe place and left their gifts in the sand. Number 4. The former King of Belgium. In 1975, Leopold III, the former King of Belgium, was said to be thrilled to have an encounter with the Sentinelese. However, he did it from the safety of a boat. Hosted on his cruise by local dignitaries, Leopold was visiting the Andaman Islands when the vessel sailed close to the shore of North Sentinel Island one night. A young tribesman was keeping watch on the beach. When the strangers sailed close by, he stood and fired his bow and arrow to warn them away. Far from being afraid, the king was said to have expressed his deep gratification for the experience. Number 3. The cargo ship. In 1981, a 16,000-ton freighter, MV Primrose, ran aground in a storm. The ship, with its 31 crew members, had been caught in the reef at midnight after having been tossed around in huge waves. When the sun came up, the crew could see that dry land was only a few hundred yards away. Though the island looked idyllic, the sea was still too rough to lower the lifeboats. Luckily, the captain decided that he and his crew would remain on board and wait for help to arrive. Number 2. The post-tsunami welfare check. In 2004, a tsunami hit the Bay of Bengal. It was feared that the Sentinelese might have been wiped out for good. It had always been difficult to determine how many islanders existed. Estimates ranged from perhaps a few dozen to as many as 500 people. To find out, the Indian Coast Guard sent a helicopter to survey the region. As the helicopter flew low over the beach, a tribesman emerged from the forest, drew back his bow, and fired an arrow at the rescue helicopter. It has been suggested that the islanders fared better than many of their neighbors during the tsunami. The Sentinelese may have had unique knowledge of the movement of the wind and sea and may have moved inland well before the wave hit. Number 1. The Drunken Fisherman. In 2006, two middle-aged Indian fishermen went crab fishing off North Sentinel Island. They were there at night because fishing in the protected waters was illegal. After they dropped anchor, they decided to fortify themselves against the cold night air with a little alcohol. Both fishermen are thought to have fallen asleep. It is also believed that their anchor, a rope tied around a rock, worked loose and they drifted toward the island. As the sun came up, nearby fishermen tried to warn the unsuspecting men that they were in danger. But they slept on. All this is for today's video. Hope so you enjoy this video. Your like, comments and share are appreciable for us. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for more videos. Thank you.